Hello and welcome to this episode of Microchips and part 2 of the Stalker 9 FDX that we got from Andy Vintage Electronics Repair. And as you saw in the last video, we started to get some headway into this radio, but we found some issues that need to be addressed, especially with this crystal that we found. So anyway, let's get into it. So somebody had replaced the crystal. So this is now a low band and mid band radio, and maybe those diodes on the back of the channel and binary adders put it into high band. I don't know, I'll never know. They've been removed, we've just got to deal with it. But we are transmitting and we are receiving. So as you can see, there's low band, there's mid band. Now UK40's got its own mixer crystal, so that's fine. UK40's fine. It's just low band and mid band that we have issues with. So our VCO's a little bit out, but never mind, it's fine. We can sort that. But there you go. You can see there's UK40. Yeah. So it uses one mixer crystal for the original mid and high, and then a different mixer crystal for the UK40. And also switches in a set of binary adders so you don't get that weird hop, skip and jump. And also switches in a different wafer as well, so you don't get that hop, skip and jump around the channel 25. So I've experimented with a MC145106 by taking out the MB8719 and putting in a 145106, which we saw in a good few videos ago, where somebody had done this to a Stalker 9. So it does actually work using the 145106 as a PLL. So I think this will be our weapon of choice. We've just got to make the input to the PLL understandable. So let's get rid of this variable power mod. We've reinstated the RF gain. That's now working as intended. And like I say, some kind person sent me a knob for it, so thank you Graham for that. It's actually looking a bit better already, but we still have the crystal issue. And we still have this PLL crystal issue. Because at the moment the channel change does nothing because of my mod board in there. It's party trick of switching out the when you switch in the UK40, it disables the SSB and all that. That still works, and I'd like to try and keep that. So as it stands at the moment, we have a 145106 PLL chip with some basic switches to simulate a channel change, and we've got our PD line being fed in this way, which I'm actually going to change later on because I found a slightly better way of doing it. But this works, this proved a point, and we've got a green LED for VCO lock as well, which worked quite well. So that was my experiment board. So I was having some weird issues with the receive, so I thought, right, it's time to recap this thing, get rid of all those 10 volt capacitors. So we're going to get rid of all these nasty 10 volt capacitors. As you can see, they're out of spec. So we've been through, we've replaced all them. Now, the receive problem I was having was due to that weird blue tantalum capacitor. You may remember from the previous video on the underside of the board, it was that. But it needed a recap anyway. I think it was worthwhile doing that. And there's the pile of capacitors that come out. And there's our nicely recapped radio. But we've still got our crystal issue, and our PLL issue, and this issue. So what we're going to do with that? Well, I actually found some chrome paint, so we're going to see how this works. I know it's not going to be perfect, it might just cover up the mark, you're still going to be able to see it, but you know, we just got to make do with what we've got basically. So it took me a couple of attempts to get this looking half reasonable. You're still going to see it, it's still going to be there.
2 weeks later.
I've got a crystal that puts me 3 channels down, and I've got a crystal that puts me onto low band. So I'm going to use the low band crystal, and I've made a board. So this board will intercept the UK signal and switch that accordingly, and we've programmed it to now be as it should be: mid band, high band and UK 40. So you can see the mid band, so we're using the original low band crystal, but we're just changing the PLL lines. So we've got mid band, there's our high band, and we're switching UK 40, and there's our UK 40. Excellent. So a bit of a long way round of doing it, but we've done it. Because I tried to get a crystal for it, and there was no chance. There was just no way of finding a crystal. So we had to do something drastic. Now, what do we do with that? We've got a hole where a screw should be. So I've took the side plate off. And I know it doesn't look pretty, but basically I've soldered a riv nut on a washer to the back of it. So I put a riv nut through a washer and I've soldered it to the frame. I know it doesn't look pretty, but it'll do. And what I actually did was I actually switched the sides around as well, because basically the sides are exactly the same but just reversed. So we need to get a case for this thing as well. So luckily, a nice person on the Facebook group managed to sort me out a case for it. So thanks again, Graham. So I didn't have to go for repairing that in the real nasty case. And as you can see and hear, it receives beautifully now. And I've had some good reports off this radio as well. People say it sounds very well. So all we've done to this radio in the end is we've put it back to how it should be. We've not added anything extra to it because there was no need. Because what more do you need? Mid-band, high-band and UK 40. It's still got its party trick where it switches off the USB when you flick it onto UK. and everything is as it should be. So that took me a long time, but I think the results speak for themselves. A nice working radio, as it should be, and sounding well, and transmitting well, receiving well. So thanks Andy for having me over. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, join the Facebook group, join the Patreon, have a look at my new website where all my boards are listed. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.